Hello and welcome. In an effort to make sure I'm on top of tabletop gaming card game news, I thought it'd be really fun to actually break down the Lorcana trailer that just came out about an hour ago. I was trying to figure out the whole OBS recording my desktop thing, so it took me a little bit longer than I was hoping, but I wanted to break down the Lorcana trailer, check it out, see what it looks like, and considering I have a background in making trailers for card games like Magic the Gathering and also games like Mortal Kombat and Call of Duty, I figured it'd be fun to also not only get my impressions and reactions of it, but also to break it down kind of as a marketer would and see, if I have any other thoughts on it other than just, that's a cool trailer. So let's go ahead and move over to full screen with my face on it. All right, so this is the Lorcana trailer here. If you aren't aware, there is another Lorcana trailer. It was kind of a teaser that came out a few weeks ago. It was just a person who was like walking down an alleyway, and they kind of got transported to like the world of Lorcana. So that kind of seemed like it set up this trailer. So let's go ahead and watch it and see what it is. It's a minute and 45 seconds. So. All right, we got the Lorcana logo there. So this is the person from the original trailer. So I did want to say, since I didn't break down the original trailer, I would say the original and this one have a very similar. It's almost like Hearthstone trailers, where it's very simple movements. It's not like CG or anything. They probably used either motion graphics or CG for these particular elements here, but everything else seems to be kind of very simple animations. All right, so we have this beam looking thing. Interesting. I wonder if this will break down like what. Well, yeah, I was just about to say, I wonder if this is going to break down like creating the characters, and it looks like that is a quill, which if you're not familiar with Lorcana, you're kind of drawing these creatures, these characters. So it seems like that's what the staff is implying. Okay, you got Hercules there. Okay, so they're using their staff to pull the character from the spell book looking thing, and they create Hercules. It's funny, I pulled that one. That is a very interesting choice of character. Okay, and you can see up there, that's like the ink. I'll move back. All right, so very quick, very simple. I had a few things I want to say towards the end, but why don't I just go ahead and start from the beginning. I did want to say the Lorcana stamp here, that little, diamond-looking thing, looks very similar to what the staff looks like, which I think is interesting. Also, the lines on the back of the card. So you can see here the lines on the back of the card. You can see they're kind of incorporating that into those lines that are going below their feet, which I think is really interesting. That thing that opens also looks very reminiscent of this thing on the back of the card. So I think it's really cool that they're tying in the logo with the kind of lore of the game. Not every game has lore, or every card game has lore attached to it. Magic the Gathering, you're a planeswalker who's kind of summoning creatures. Yu-Gi-Oh, I think they're kind of going for the whole, Yu-Gi-Oh anime sort of thing. But not every card game has a lore like that. Yeah, so that staff definitely looks like that little diamond thing that you find on the back of the card. And obviously that is essentially the back of the card there. I'm not really sure what they're implying, like that spell is coming from. Maybe it's coming from like the other universes of the characters. I'm not as familiar with the lore of what they're going for here. So this is one thing that I thought would be interesting to break down as marketers, their choice of Hercules here. And it's not a Hercules that we're necessarily familiar with. It's not the classic Hercules that you see. Let me see if it'll rewind. So it's not the classic Hercules that you see from the Hercules movie. But even using that Hercules is kind of an interesting choice, because Hercules is not like a huge Disney film. Like, I think if you were to ask what Disney film should you use to like get Disney fans excited, you'd probably use Like Elsa is probably the easiest one to think of. You know, Maleficent, Mickey Mouse, even. You know, if you're going for like true Disney, you know, just like classic, really beloved Disney characters. Hercules is a little bit more of a deeper cut. I mean, obviously people, especially if you're a millennial, know what Hercules is, but that kind of came out during the slump of when Disney wasn't doing too well. Hercules didn't make that much money, and you don't see them that much throughout the like Disney parks or anything like that. It kind of came out during that slump of like Treasure Planet, Lilo and Stitch, Hercules, Emperor's New Groove, like that kind of era. The films I love, but you know, aren't necessarily beloved in Disney's pocketbooks. So it's kind of interesting to not only pull a character from that one, but also a character that a version of that character that doesn't really exist. I think this is probably one of those Dreamborn. Actually, hold on. I have the foil version of this exact card, so let me see. Yeah, here it is. So I have the Hercules card. It is a Dreamborn, so I believe that means that it's not from the movies. It's meant to be kind of like an alternate version of it. I do wonder if they did that to show that they have deeper cuts while also having a character that most people would recognize. Like, if you wanted to show off a truly deep cut, you know, you would show off something like Sergeant Tabs, which is in Lorcana or something, you know, or like a Treasure Planet character. So it looks like they didn't want to go for the fully everybody knows exactly who this character is, like Mickey Mouse or Elsa, but they didn't want to go for someone who was also a super deep cut that no one would know unless you're a super Disney fan. So maybe they were trying to kind of balance that you know, kind of balance that audience and show that this can be for everyone, but also it can be for Disney fans as well. I'm very curious to see if they will expand on this lore at all. I would also say it is slightly disappointing. I'll just say, as a Disney fan, it is slightly disappointing that they use this very kind of stilted animation. It just seems odd to me that you know, coming from a studio that basically birthed the modern day animation, that you would go with this kind of animation. I know like other card games do this for their trailers, and um, I don't know. It's never been my favorite. It, you know, it kind of makes sense because card games are solid. You know, they're not videos. Like you just kind of get like a solid 2D version of that card. So it kind of makes it so that like every still frame you're on could be a card, which I think is cool. But still, it's like I would have loved something a little bit more flowy from something that is Disney, you know. Like I think that's one thing, is it's from Disney, so I feel like it should have that kind of Disney feel of animation. um but overall, I think this is you know, a pretty good trailer. I think it shows off to Disney fans that there's some deeper cuts. When you release a trailer closer to the release, you want to go for a more wide audience, because those are when, like, for example, this is dropping the day Lorcana is coming out here on August 18th. So you want to drop a trailer that's a little bit more wide variety, a little bit more exciting, so that you can capture the widest audience. So I can see why they didn't go for a super deep cut here. I am a little surprised, though, that they didn't go with a more well-known character, if that is indeed the audience that they're going for. Um, so like I probably would have thought of something like Elsa or something like that, especially since the first trailer, I can't quite remember, but I don't believe the first trailer incorporated any Disney characters. To me, that would be an interesting time to incorporate a more deeper cut character, or things like that. And then this one, you would bring in a more well-known character that a wider audience would know. I do think that they made this one look a little bit more flashy than the last one. You know, with the graphics of this animation here, that could probably also be for the wider audience. So I'm intrigued to see if they'll release any more trailers. You know, some card games release them for every set. So like Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone do. Other card games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think I've ever seen a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trailer. I might be wrong there, but you know, maybe like a commercial or something. And obviously they have the anime. But things like Pokemon, you know, don't release them all the time. They're kind of hit or miss when it comes to trailers. So I'd be intrigued to see which direction they go with this. Whether they do it once or twice for every expansion, or they do it for you know, just for this first introduction of Lorcana. I'd also be interested in seeing like if they expand on the lore and if these characters, you know, because they have character designs. Let's see, because they show the other characters, human characters from Earth, a little bit later. I believe they were also in the first trailer. So yeah, I'd be intrigued to see if they bring them back. But overall, I think that's a pretty good trailer. And I hope you enjoyed this kind of first breakdown / reaction video to a trailer. I do hope to do this for other card games as they release. So Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, things like that. I figured this would be fun to do if I'm going to be breaking down news instead of breaking them down during the news show. I'd break them down when they come out. That way, it's fun and fresh. And yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much. My name's Light, and please remember to like, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see me break down any other card game videos.